What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Best Show Ever podcast, the podcast where I talk about the best shows that people have ever seen in their lives. I'm your host, Cam Hurt, and a very cool week of the podcast this week with the two guys that we're interviewing. But if you've been following along to what's going on my social media, you've seen that kind of having a tough week in the Hurt family. Mom was in a very tough accident down here in Tallahassee, Florida, and so me and my brother Kyle and my dad are down here being with her and seeing her through her recovery here. It was just brutal. But I say this on the other podcast episode that I have right now. I cannot thank you guys enough for the support and the kind words and the thoughts and the prayers that you guys have all sent out to me and my family. It has been the best medicine for us. I truly mean it. And so it does feel ridiculous to be doing the intros and outros of the show right now, but I'm just trying to keep things normal, and hey, this is my mom's favorite podcast, and so she needs her fucking episodes. So, hey, this episode right now that you're listening to is with a comedian friend of mine. This is a guy that we got to do a show together at Mondegreen, and he is working out of the Cellar in New York. This dude is just truly one of the honestly funniest people you could ever talk to. Max Fine, huge Phish fan, huge jam band guy. Musician himself, he talks a little bit about that, but we talk about how we ended up in comedy, not being musicians, and being total dorks in that way. This dude is just so honestly himself, and we just get into some super awesome talks about comedy and music and, you know, the stuff that I'm constantly talking about all the time on the show. So I hope you enjoy this conversation that I had with Max. Definitely check out his stuff. Online's at Max Fine. He's got a bunch of shows coming up right now. So if you're in the New York area, if you're in the city in New York, you should go find him and see his show. He tells Phish jokes, and they're good ones. So I couldn't recommend him enough. I'm gonna get out of the way of this intro here. Enjoy this conversation that I had with Max. But first, here's a little bit of music from Loom. There's times where I'm in green rooms with comedians and it's like, all right, well, I'm going to go out on stage now. This was fucked back here.
Yeah, dude, the vibe is absolutely terrible. It's because I think it's fair to say, though, that that's because comedy is a solo thing, unless you're doing like improv or sketch, where it's like you don't have anybody to commiserate with on the last show.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, we all came from somewhere different. We were all doing a different thing right before this. There's no real bond other than the fact that this is what we do. And you just kind of have to hope that it works out and that the chemistry's good with the other randos that are there.
Yeah, totally, dude. And, like, it's just super vulnerable. And then the only bond that you have is that it is super vulnerable, you know? And then you're just like, well, that was fucking...
Yes.
You know, or, like...
That was vulnerable, and don't look at me, don't talk to me. This is not your experience, so I'm gonna leave.
Kind of like whether you do
and with a band,
well or not. Like, if you do well, or if you don't...
you can go.
Like, all right.
Yep, all right, tight. Yeah, because even if the guy does well, I'm saying the guy because I never want to, because I'm just like trying to skirt the fact that I probably am this person. But you hate that guy that, like, when it goes well, they come back and then they're like, fucking great. Yeah, like...
You're like, yeah,
like,
dude,
that guy's awesome. Well, now I'm going to eat shit because all I can think about is how you're going to be watching me thinking about how it better hit my bar. And it's like, fuck, dog, come on.
And, like, I mean, this is, like, the super weirdest, analogy, but it's like if we all have the knowledge that you're in your room hooking up with your girlfriend, and then you walk out of your room with your girlfriend and go, "That was fucking awesome!" Like
that's exactly what it is,
right,
dude.
like,
that's exactly what it
chill.
is. Yeah.
Like, we heard.
Yeah, you know my wife, whom I love.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I was having sex with her. Yeah, it was very cool.
Like, okay. Yeah.
Cool. Great. You. Can we finish dinner now? Oh, that's so funny. But that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And I think with a band, you at least get, like, another couple people to be like, well, that sucked for us.
I feel like before a show, like, musicians are just kind of like, living the dream. Yeah, it's fucking sweet. Yeah, and
it's because they are. They are living the dream. That's what's not fair. Is comedy sucks so much. It's not a universal language. Music is. Music transcends age, race, space, all of that shit. And we're just like, if you're not a 16-year-old boy, you're probably gonna hate me, dude. Like that's kind of my
Yeah,
thing.
dude, and like they have all these great questions about comedy. They all are like, dude. So like when you're working through, like they have great questions that like you never would get asked in a green room full of comedians. They don't want to fuck it. They don't care. They we're it's like
No.
but like they're asking all these great questions, and I don't even know what I would ask back about the music thing. I'm just like, so you guys like,
So who
so
starts?
sad.
Is it yeah. How do you do it, huh? Like that's the only thing I could ask is how do you do it? I don't know where a song starts, who writes the first part. I don't know how a drummer figures out what a rhythm's supposed to be. Like none of it makes any sense to me.
Yeah.
And it really is fucking magic for that reason
And
though,
then
I
they'll come
think.
off stage. I'll be like, dude, that was awesome. And they're like, was it? That's awesome, man. Great. And I'm like,
I don't
fuck.
know, dude. I was a little behind, man. The tempo was off, and I just couldn't catch up. I wasn't playing like it's, especially with like jam shit. I'm just like, how do you guys know how to do what you're doing? Not even what you're gonna do, but how do you know how to do
Yeah.
it? It just throws me for such a
Yeah.
loop.
And yeah, so then the fact that they would have any question about what I'm doing, I'm like, I feel like you got it, right? I was talking. I had some.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I was, yeah. You know the part that you guys do really well in between songs? Just do that for like 5 minutes. Just pretend like you're about to play another song for like 5 minutes and you can do a
Yeah.
set.
Right.
It's really
Yeah, yeah.
simple. It's really
Yeah, yeah.
easy. But you channel God, right? Like that's what you do? Like that's your thing? Yeah.
Cool. Cool, cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I have
Oh.
really been liking being attached to the music thing. It's been fun because it's these guys don't give a fuck. They're just like, yep.
So how often are you like opening for bands now?
I really don't do a lot of opening for bands. Like I'm gonna, this will probably come out afterwards. I'm gonna open for Dogs, but I'm gonna like incorporate.
Right.
I'm not gonna like open for them. That
Right. Is it like
I'm gonna like
sketch?
incorporate a bit into like how they open the show. Like I'm gonna like sort of like
Right.
bring them out with this like character guy, you know.
Right, right. And they're gonna pay you for it?
No, no,
Oh fuck. Oh, I thought you. Oh,
no.
never
I'm
mind.
interviewing them for a festival. Uh,
Okay,
They've got
okay.
some
Gotcha,
like
gotcha,
brand
gotcha.
sponsor. The festival has like a brand sponsor that we're like doing the
Right.
interview through, and so like that I'm getting paid through the brand, not the band.
Gotcha.
Um,
Hey, sure, sure, sure.
but yeah, they like when we did the Jam Cruise thing. Like I had a half hour on the boat for that, and I was like,
Right.
would you guys want to come do like a backing band thing, and we can do like I'll break up
Yeah.
my time with that. Like I'll do like 15 of like stand up, and then I'll do like 15 of this like
Right.
fucking like Dean Martin improvised acid guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so cool, dude. I'm so jealous. That sounds like it was so much fun.
It was super weird to be at something that comedy isn't the focus. Like I talk about this with
Yeah.
Rory in his episode. Like you are just the comedian. Like I've been to comedy festivals before.
It sucks.
You're with a bunch of comedians,
Right.
and like people are there to see comedy, and the crowds are like seeing a bunch of comedy, and they're like in it. They're like
Yeah.
ready to like. It was just a little. The music stuff is weird.
It's it's really hard cuz like I did Warp Tour once
Sick.
and it was the worst. It was the fucking worst. Cuz like and that's been my only experience with like stand up at a that's not true. I did stand up at 11 a.m. once at a comedy festival, at a music festival in Chattanooga, Tennessee. That was pretty fucking bad. But this one, it's just like it's hot as hell. The sun is baking in this parking lot, and nobody wants to see comedy. They are all there for bands. The thing that I thought was cool about Mondegreen was like, all right, we're all here for one band
Yeah.
where it's kind of like, all right, I'm not overwhelmed with choices and comedy is just another option on the
Yeah.
menu. It's like, all right, I'm here to see one thing and one thing only, and anything else is just gravy.
Yeah, and like there, yeah, we were competing with essentially nothing, especially nothing that we were like near because we were so far out at like one of the.
Oh well, ours was totally
It
yeah,
was
yeah,
an
yeah.
odd thing.
That was so good though. That was so fun. That's the thing. If you get to do shit like that at Jam Crew, because like all I ever want to do is talk about fish
Yeah.
anyway. That's it. That's like 90% of the conversations I'm having, I would rather be talking about fish. And so when you get to do like my other favorite thing, stand up at a place where everybody also wants to talk about fish, it's like this is the happiest place on earth,
Oh
dude. It
yeah.
doesn't get better than
Yeah, it's
this.
been yeah, it's really really cool in that way, but it also like that still goes bad. Like
Of course.
the night 0 this last year in Charleston for Goose, I did like the night before the thing started, we had this
Yeah.
Disco was going to be the band that was playing that night and it was sold out. Charleston Poorhouse. It's like
Yeah.
a good amount of people in there and they were all in this big swath of crowd. I was like, this is gonna be fucking perfect. Like, this is gonna go great, And
Yeah.
like, I was getting like little pockets of people and
It's so
stuff, and
hard.
like I could feel like, all right, this group likes me over, but like it's just when you're
Yeah.
competing, like you said, with fucking music and the tapping into God, like it's just really fucking. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, all right,
It's
here's
really
the
hard,
music.
dude. Yeah. Yeah, y'all definitely don't want this, and I understand. And the worst part is like, not the worst part. I think I've gotten better at this. The longer I've kind of done stand up, it's like, all right, well, this is a means to do what I want to do in a lot of ways. Where it's like, I'm going to see Fish in Columbus in July, so I'm like, all right, I know I can book shows around this to pay for it, and if it works, it works. But otherwise, it's like I don't really care. I'm making enough money to see the thing I want to see for free, so it's worth it
Well,
to me.
well,
You know?
and dude, at this point, you're performing in some pretty big places, and you can
Sure.
tour. Like you are someone who is able to go and sell some tickets. Uh,
You'd think so. God, I wish I could, dude. I can't sell tickets for dick, Cam. It's crazy. It's crazy. Because I don't go on Kill
yeah.
Tony and call people the N word. I can't move any tickets. It's fucking bonkers, dude. Because I goddamn stuck to some semblance of respect for
Yeah,
myself.
why
What a
did you do that,
mistake.
dude? Go on Kill Tony and use the R slur. What the fuck is your
I should, because you know what? Every time I go visit home, that's what everybody wants to know.
Oh,
Why aren't you doing Kill
fuck,
Tony?
dude. I mean,
Why aren't you doing
people in
that?
my
It's
hometown want to know why I'm not doing Kill Tony, why I haven't performed at the
we're a
mothership,
Saturday Night
and why I
Live.
don't go to the most dangerous parts of each city and interview people who are on fentanyl. They're like, that's what a comedian is.
Yeah,
they're like, dude, this guy's awesome. You should work with this guy. I'm like, that? What is
yeah.
that you just like?
That is a pedophile. That man that you love so much is a
That's
pedophile.
not.
I have seen it
Don't
happen.
watch that. That's bad.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. But those guys make so much more money, and in fairness, they won.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess what,
My
whatever.
girlfriend is a nurse.
If I could just see,
She's a pediatric. She's a
oh,
pediatric nurse, but she was like helping this kid the other day, and he's got his iPad in front of him, and the kid's got like some lady who just like dances on the screen for the kid, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
has
yeah,
like or
yeah,
whatever, and she's like, this lady's
dude.
taking care of way more kids and making $1 billion. Why did I just not do that? She's fully a nurse,
Dog,
super noble profession. She's like, I should have just made content.
I think that's what we're all kind of realizing now
Fuck.
is, and it's kind of, I don't know. You know what? I think that there is starting to be some kind of pushback. I don't think it will do anything in a real like, I'm trying to think what like profitable way. But like I do think that art is about to have a really serious resurgence. I think that people are starting to really kind of give up on the idea that any of this is real anyway. And it's just like let's do shit for ourselves. I think that that seems like it's on its way back, which I really
Oh
like.
yeah.
But I think as far as like any viable career in art is totally over unless you're
Yeah,
racist.
right. Yeah, dude.
And
You have to
yeah,
align yourself with some pretty weird shit to be like mega famous in art right now. But
yeah, and it
it
sucks.
sucks. But I do like the thought of whatever the reaction to all this is going to be. Like you said, like there certainly will be a reaction to like what is reality and like what we can put into it. And like you said, I feel like people are already just like, like the younger generation doesn't wait to get through comedy clubs to make comedy anymore. They like just do it online.
Sure.
They just yeah,
Well, and
all that
yeah,
shit.
beyond comedy, I think it's all art right now. Like it's like all of a sudden I'm doing shit that I never would have done before, and a lot of it is like kind of inspired by shit like like the music culture. Like I do zines
Yeah.
now. I bring zines on the road that I don't sell online, that I don't publish anywhere else, and I don't like share them anywhere. It's just like if you want a zine, it's got some shit that I've done, some shit that my friends have done. You can take it and do whatever you want with it, but I don't really care if you know about it or
Yeah.
not. Or like I've got a fucking secret podcast sort of a deal where I don't talk about it, but it's been there for
Yeah.
years. And I don't want anybody to find it,
Yeah.
for any other reason than they did, not because it's supposed to do anything. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that as art becomes so fucking bad.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. I think that yeah, people will just do stuff for themselves a lot more, which will probably end up creating some really, really good shit that is like really weird,
I
and
hope
like
so. Yeah. Yeah, because it's been so boring, dude, and I'm so tired of watching comedy that looks the same. I'm tired of listening to music that sounds the same. Like, I really don't listen to anything new anymore because it's like, unless it's like really different, it takes a lot to like catch my ear
yeah.
now. It's not like it used to be where it's like, oh, I'm hearing all different types of music all the time from all different types of places. It's like everybody's playing the same three things and it's coming at you from everywhere. And I'm not interested
Yeah,
anymore.
and it feels like you have that inner, like that, like you said, like the where'd this come from? How'd this get through? How did I get to hear this? It's
Hmm.
probably bullshit the way that this, like however this
Yes,
got
yes.
through and is popular, I don't like it. I don't want to.
Well, dude, it's exactly, and you can
Yeah,
hear it. Like I'm not gonna sit here and defend screamo music, but it's what I loved as a kid, and I still love. But like when I hear the new versions of it, I'm like, oh, it's like you guys tried to do this in a computer, and it's like it already sucks. There's no way you're gonna make it good, so why are you trying? Just do it because you love it, and that should be that. And it feels that way with everything, though. Every like niche art form has been completely commodified to fuck,
yeah,
and now we're just kind of dealing with worse versions of it,
yeah, dude.
including fish.
Yeah, well,
It's
yeah. I like to. No,
sorry.
no. I like to believe that like the fish lives in this pure outer crust of the entertainment world, that like is
They do,
untouched. But
but the people that listen don't.
yeah, it's you. Uh, it there's like a Disney adulting of everything. There is a
Total, yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
yeah,
Disney
yeah, yeah.
adulting of every
Yeah, 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 yeah.
experience. Where they just like you said, commodify the fuck out of it. And sometimes you're with some Fish fans where you're like, what is this?
I know, dude. It's like, yeah, you'll be sitting at a Waffle House table and realize, oh, we're all wearing this shirt, huh?
Yeah.
All of us, yeah.
Yeah.
Every one of us did.
Yeah, and it's like
It's crazy because
we're like looking down the row.
that's why like Mondegreen was so
Yeah.
great. It was like, oh, nobody else can see us. We're contained,
Yeah.
and it's not weird. But anywhere else out in the world, it's like, ah, shit, we are Disney
Yeah,
adults.
dude. Yeah, but I, the way that I get through that for myself is that I'm like, everyone out here has some sort of Disney adult thing that they're doing if they are not already fully Disney adulting. Like, I know a lot of
Yeah,
comedians who are like, yeah, dude, I'm going to be in LA, so I'm definitely going down to Disney and we're going to hit it up a couple times. And I'm like,
yeah, yeah. The only so this is
I'm
here's
sure
the
I've
deal.
got some Disney
This is
adult
the
listeners who
difference.
are like, what? But I'm like,
Well, this is my favorite part. So I think that this is my theory on Disney adults. There are two very distinct categories. Hey, sorry, this cat is trying to eat the laptop. The two different categories there's East Coast and West Coast Disney adults, right? East Coast Disney adults are fucking lunatics, dude. These are like the Disney World folks are nuts. The people that go down there and they're like, yes, look, I am going to dress like a pirate. Yes, I am bringing my 3 children that all look the same and my wife who looks just like me. No, I don't think black people should vote. Like that, like that's like legitimately what every Disney World Disney adult is. They're racist, like fascist. Dude, my old fucking chorus teacher from elementary school, I got on Facebook and I was like, oh, dude, you're a Disney adult. You're a Disney adult that doesn't believe in vaccines, and now you have lung cancer. And it's like, stop dressing like a pirate, dude. Take care of your shit.
Stop buying cheap costumes, going to Anaheim, and buying $32 beers at a fake Paris or whatever the fuck is going on.
Now that sounds cool, though. Actually, like, so that's like, the difference between West Coast. Hold on, West Coast sounds dope, dude. You get to go to Paris and Disney. That sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah, I mean it is. It is a little awesome, dude. But yeah, there's like, I mean, there were people who like when I moved to LA, like they're going down to Disney every fucking other weekend, and I'm like, what's the deal? Yeah, but I mean like that. This is my that. So
I know, dude. We went. I mean, there was a fucking Ferris wheel at Mondegreen where it's like, yeah, there are rides here. This is truly just Disney World for fish people.
But my thing's way cooler and like way doper.
Yeah,
cool
dude.
and, like,
yeah. And you know what? There aren't as many 4-year-olds running around, and the ones that are fucking
sick.
chill,
They're
dude.
the chillest 4-year-olds out
They're
there,
sick.
dude.
Chillest 4-year-olds, and their dads always have the best
You
weed.
gotta see a 4-year-old. I mean, it's the Phish 4-year-olds are pretty fucking chill, and
they're pretty chill, dude.
And they're not screaming during the show. They're fucking
no kidding.
They don't chomp. We will get into your shows now, man. I could talk about stand up and music all day long with you. I'm sure we're gonna get into more of that stuff, but we will get into your shows. Before we get into your best shows ever, what was the first concert you ever saw in your life?
Dude, so I have two that I kind of like lean on. The very first one, I saw Backstreet Boys when I was like, I must have been like 6 or 7. And it was at the Georgia Dome. So this is where the Falcons used to play. And I'll never forget, dude, the fucking spectacle of it really ruined concerts for me forever. They came in on wires like they were riding surfboards in the sky. And I just remember thinking, like, this is what music is? This is crazy. I think Nelly opened for them. I am almost positive that Nelly opened for the Backstreet Boys when I saw them. And honestly, it's like I remember the spectacle of it, couldn't tell you anything about the music. But like the first concert I went to, like, that I wanted to see, that I was like, I'm going to this, I saw Coheed and Cambria. And bro, they were my initial Phish. I've seen Coheed and Cambria like 12 something times.
The Phish of that screamo scene, dude.
Dog, they were incredible. They're still, I don't know about still, but I had a like at least 15-year love affair with Coheed and Cambria, where I was like, yeah, I love this fucking band and I'll see anything they do. And I saw them at the Masquerade in Atlanta in 2004. Dude, fucking Rise Against opened for them, and a band called 3, which is this proggy fucking weird like gothy band. They were so bizarre, but I remember they had like 3 drummers, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And it kind of like, because Coheed was cool because it kind of like launched you out into all these different places musically, because they were so proggy and so not just emo band or whatever. They were like, no, we listen to Rush, we listen to, you know, this, that, and the other. We know scales. We're not doing power chords. Like, it really did kind of set you up to listen to a bunch of different shit if you got into them, I thought.
Yeah, I feel...
What was your first concert?
My first concert...
I'm sure you answer this all the time, right?
Here and there. No one asked me.
Okay.
Shit, Max.
What? Though that's bullshit, dude. That's bullshit.
My first concert that I went to with my dad was Queen, with Paul Rogers from Bad Company as the lead singer.
Yeah, dude, that is the most Wisconsin thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was before they had the dude
That
from
rules.
American Idol. They did the We Are the Champions
Yeah.
tour. And I went to that, and it was sick, dude. And it was same thing. Like, they had like a catwalk. They had like multiple catwalks, like along.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
were off to the side, and they had one that went up along the side. And like Brian May starts off the show like with, you know, he like made that guitar and, you know, that he plays and everything.
Yeah.
He's like a engineering genius, or whatever. So he's like comes out, he's like got the guitar, he's like right in front of me, and he's like, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is sick as fuck, dude. Yeah, exactly. But I
Right.
think the first one
How old
was
were
like
you?
12, 11 or 12. But I
Yeah.
feel like the first one I went to by myself was like, oh man, I couldn't even tell you. Like, first one I went to by myself was, yeah, maybe like the Cartel, like at the rave. Yeah.
Cartel?
Or just Cartel.
Wait.
like
the pop punk band.
Like,
Dog, I know those
because my
guys
buddy
personally.
was
They're
opening
Atlanta.
for them, you know, at the rave in Milwaukee.
No
yeah.
shit.
Like, that might have been the first one.
Dog, those are Atlanta boys, and I've been to like multiple weddings. We had like one of the restaurants I worked at, the drummer of Cartel was very close with one of the servers who I became very close with.
No way, dude.
And then, yeah, dude. So we would go like party and drink together when I was like 18.
That's crazy.
And then because like I was in the like emo scene in Atlanta, like we definitely played shows with like Cartel and like one of the bands that wound up like growing into Manchester Orchestra,
Yeah.
like we used to play with all the time and shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that was like my buddy's
Sorry.
band. Like I said, like the emo, like the guys in the bands in my high school were the funniest dudes, and this dude Sam Anderson was in
Totally.
this band.
Everybody has a Sam Anderson, dude. I had a funny Sam Anderson in my high school.
Yeah, I mean, look into that. We should look into that.
Yeah.
Make it up for that, but this kid Sam Anderson was so fucking
For sure.
funny. And he was in this band Sleep Therapist Sleep that opened for Cartel.
Great
Yeah,
name.
dude. And
Great
we went to
name.
that show, yeah, and like, yeah, he ended up like going on and doing DJ stuff, but like that was like in that time. Then yeah, I was going to shows at the rave in Milwaukee all the time, and it was just like everything from like the pop punk stuff that was on the radio, like all time. Like I probably saw All Time Low like fucking 5 or 6 times, like with whoever they came through with. Like I was probably going to see like fucking Jack's Mannequin or fucking like something that was like going along with a big all-time low tour at the time.
Yeah, dude. Dude, well, I miss that shit so much. Like, growing up, we had an all-ages venue called Swayze's.
Yeah.
And it fucking ruled. That was, like, the first place where I went to shows, like, for not big bands, I guess, like, for all the local acts. And you would just see, like, kids, and you'd be like, oh wow, cool, I'm wearing girls jeans, I'm 15 years old, I'm chain smoking cigarettes in the parking lot in the suburbs, and this is the coolest I'll ever feel. And I wish I knew that at the time. But
hey man, I think that guy
Yeah, dude.
standing outside of that show smoking a cigarette in the suburbs would think that you're pretty fucking cool right now, man. Doing shows at the Cellar in New York is a cool thing.
you'd hope so. I think a lot of it would be like, yeah, but he's playing in music venues. You know, the guy that you like. I think that'll never end. Like one of my oldest friends is a guy I played in bands with, and he's now a pretty successful like singer songwriter. And I tried opening for him one tour, and every time I'm just like, what the fuck? I want to just do that.
Oh, man.
Like, it's so much cooler.
Oh yeah,
people like
when
that.
Dogs takes the stage after I'm done on the mic, I'm gonna be like,
Fuck shit. Oh yeah, dude, it's the worst.
yeah.
It's the
And
worst.
I'm hoping that it goes well, but I bet about half that audience is gonna be like, let's get to the fucking.
Yeah, but regardless if it goes well or not, like, who
Oh, I don't care.
cares?
You cannot
Like,
hurt me.
that's the thing. Once they start, nobody's gonna give a flying fuck anymore, and then you're just at a
Oh yeah,
concert,
no,
dog.
it's the best. Oh, that's
Yeah,
like that has
yeah,
been the best. Is to like however it goes. Then afterwards, I'm not at a stand-up show. I'm at a concert.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck
yeah.
yeah, dude. Come on.
So much more
I don't gotta
chill.
like go
So much
stand
more
out in the
chill.
crowd while it's silent and some guy's just like, yeah, so that's why I don't think that, like it's just
Yeah.
fucking yeah. I
Or or just sit in a bathroom and wait for the show to end because you don't want to talk to anybody. That's my big move. A lot of times, if it's a club if it's a club where there's more than one bathroom stall, I'll hang out in there for 30 minutes so I don't have to talk to the other comics or anybody and just be like, "This is my time. I'll put in my headphones. I'll have myself a little afternoon in there, dude." I fucking hate dealing with people after something
oh
like
yeah,
that.
dude.
But a concert, you get to fucking
Oh
vibe,
yeah.
dude.
And like you said, I mean, most of the crowd, like no matter, like I said, the goose thing went like whatever. Like I go out to the crowd, everyone's like, the music's already started and everything, and I
Yeah.
had gone backstage and like smoked a joint and chilled for a second, and then I come back out
Yeah.
to the crowd, everyone's like, dude, ah!
Yeah, exactly. That shit rules,
Oh yeah,
dude. That's great.
so much better than
Yeah, man.
yeah, so much better.
Because
I'll
yeah,
take it.
it really does become a bummer. Yeah, it's. I think one of the other things that people don't maybe understand or appreciate, like that don't do comedy, is like the last thing I want to do when I am done with a spot is keep talking. I would way rather just sit and watch music. And the problem is with comics, it's like it's the best part and the worst thing. It's like they just want to keep
Yeah.
riffing and everyone wants to keep talking and stuff. And it's awesome and it's the best and I wouldn't trade that life for anything. But I would much rather get done, immediately shut the fuck up and watch a
Oh
band
yeah,
play.
dude.
That would be way more satisfying.
Yeah, even when it's not like, I mean, the worst is like when you get done with a show and then we're talking about the show and we're talking about the sets and all of a sudden people are breaking down this. Like that doesn't happen so much at some point.
No, yeah.
Anymore.
But it does suck when it does.
sucks. And you're like, but even if it's not that, you're just like, I don't want to be on anymore right now. I would
No,
like to
dude.
fucking
Hang.
preferably
I just
say
want to hang.
nothing, but just hang.
Yeah,
and
dude.
just hang.
It's
Yeah, I don't know.
it's crazy. Well, and like I've started doing this TikTok job, right? Where I sell these things, and for 4 hours a day, I don't stop talking. So like, it's 4 hours of constant, no break talking. And then if anybody wants to talk to me afterwards, I want to cut them fucking wide open. I'm like, I
Yeah,
hate
right.
you. I hate you
Yeah,
so
dude.
much. Don't you dare make me talk
Yeah,
right now.
and I mean, people will shut themselves up talking at the concert. Like people afterwards be like, "Dude, the one joke was so great, and then you did the oh shut, oh fuck, I'm talking at a
Yeah,
show, fuck,
dude.
I'm sorry."
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, right, exactly.
Right. All right, you get it. Okay,
Good,
cool.
good,
Hell yeah.
cool. Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, doing the music thing has been cool. Other than the show itself,
Yeah, of course. Right.
like the show itself is like,
Yeah.
oh, hopefully this goes.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, but it's a free ticket, baby, and that's what really
I will take the
matters.
free ticket. Do you have a worst concert you ever saw in your life? Do you have a worst concert experience?
Yeah, man. I mean, I have a few. Well, I have a worst concert experience, and this I've had two worst concert experiences, but I don't think I've ever seen like a terrible concert.
Yeah.
So I've had some like bad times. Like I went and saw this was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, like right after lockdown stopped. Newfound Glory and Less Than Jake came to play at a rooftop pier in New York City. And my buddy and I were so excited. We were like, this is going to be great. This is going to be a blast. We haven't seen these bands since we were like in high school or like even before that. This was like old shit for us. So we're like, well, let's do it like adults. We'll both buy a half ounce of mushrooms. And, this will be great. And we'll walk around and we'll have this great time. And I don't know what happened, but we get to the venue. Oh, no, that's right. Okay. So we start eating the mushrooms and we get on the ferry, which is going to take us across the river directly to the venue, which is on a pier in New York on this rooftop. So, dude, we are on the water. We're eating mushrooms and we hear the opening act from the water. And boy, dude, when screamo music is blast off of a rooftop and you really hear it for what it is the most embarrassing shit to know that like I am on the water going towards this. I can't even turn around at this point. Like
I
I'm
I
just
don't think I
eating
ever saw
mushrooms, hearing it, and it's all
I don't think I ever saw screamo act in the open air. I think it was always
oh me
in a club.
outside of Warp Tour.
Yeah, right.
But this was the opening act. So this wasn't I don't know who this band was. I could just hear it from the water and I was so embarrassed. Like I wasn't at the venue yet. I could have been going anywhere else in downtown Manhattan, but knowing that I was going there made me embarrassed to be on that fucking boat. So I'm like giggling with my friend. We're like, this is funny. This is horrible. We get there and we see that they're checking bags and shit, and we panic. And it's like, well, fuck, we got to eat all of our mushrooms.
Wow.
And so we both ate a half ounce of mushrooms, and we get up to the venue, and dude, Less Than Jake comes out. They hit the first note of their song, and I look at my buddy. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. And he goes, I'm not feeling good, and then falls backwards. Dude, I remember so vividly hearing the back of his head hit the concrete on the floor and being like, oh my God. And it's all starting to kick now. All of it's starting to happen.
No.
I don't know where the security guy came from, but he comes in. The security guy and I are dragging my friend, whose head is like back. His eyes are rolled to the back of his head, and we're dragging him like to a tent. And I'm like, all I can think about is like, well, I'm gonna be that in the next couple minutes. Like this isn't good. Right. That's what I'm gonna be, and I can't tell the guy that. So,
This is awesome to that.
Dude, it's so yeah. And we didn't even get to see I didn't even get to hear the second note. It happened so fast. And then we're in the tent, and this is right after COVID, and I don't remember what the medic was talking about specifically, but I remember being so fucked up. He was like, the masks aren't going to help you anyway. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like,
you're like, what about his head? Oh, fuck.
What is that? Yeah, what about his head? And but we get back there. We've dragged him back, and he looks at me. It was just like in The Sandlot. In The Sandlot when Squints opens his eyes right before Wendy Peppercorn goes to kiss him, so everybody knows he's okay. So he looked at me and he said, "Don't tell my wife," and then he went catatonic. It was like he had to let me know that he was like, I can speak. I'm gonna be all right. My wife cannot find out about this. And then he just stopped talking for an hour. And and we get down. So finally they clear him. They're like, all right, you're good. And I'm looking at this doctor who at this point is just fractals. I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, yeah, we're good, dude. And he's like, all right, well, you guys can go back out into the show. And I was like, we're not going into the show. We're leaving, dude. And it's that thing where, you're high, you're on mushrooms, so you would think that everything you're doing is illegal, even though you're just getting on an elevator. Yeah. So it's like, we're waiting on this. You're fine, dude. You're fine. Not a big deal, man. And like, we're backstage at this point because we're in the medic tent and we're going down the elevator that the band is using. So it's just us and one of the guys from Newfound Glory, and we're sitting there, and I'm just like, just be cool, be cool, be cool. You're being cool. But we finally get out, and we're on the street. I call a friend, and I'm like, hey man, I think I know. I think things are going bad. Can we go to your place? I know you're around the corner. And we get into a cab, we go to his place. I look out, the river is just on fire. And I'm like, great, all right, whatever. We just got to get going. And we get unloaded, we get dropped off at my buddy's place who lives where when you get dropped off from Rikers Island, the prison, you get dropped off in front of my friend's apartment in Alphabet City in Manhattan. So we're just tripping balls. I'm like freaking out. I'm behind a prison bus. And, and I'm like, all right, bud, you got to take care of me. And we didn't get to see the concert, but we did watch. You know what chilled us the fuck out was Joe Pera Talks to You.
Man, that'll work.
Totally cooled us down. Cooled us down, but I missed Newfound Glory entirely.
You got that one note, though.
So bummed. One note of less than Jake. I didn't even get to see the real one I wanted to see.
This is awesome.
And then my first, yeah, I'm not feeling good. But dude, I had the same thing happen. I was on the other end of that though. When I went and saw, I saw Phish on. This was December 29th, 2022, 2022. Where, dude, I was in MSG. I took half a tab of acid, and I was like, I'm pretty good with drugs. I'll be fine. And I don't know what happened. I've never taken acid like this. And they opened with Fluffhead, and as soon as they went into Your Pet Cat, I was like, can't handle it. I am not doing okay. Like, as soon as I heard the cat screeches, I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, dude.
I had to leave. I walked around Madison Square Garden for like 12 miles, dude. I didn't see any of the show. I was just so freaked out. I was convinced I was dying.
It happened to me over the summer in Oregon, too. Like, same thing. Took what I thought was going to be 2 tabs of acid that just turned into the worst night of my life, you know? And, like, I don't know. Yeah, dude. I don't know what... Like you said, it was just one or two things kind of triggered the next thing, and then it was just like, I'm usually able to thug out a bad trip, you know? I'm Like you said, like you look at the river and it's on fire, you're like, we just got to get out of here. Like, I'm usually at this point able to be like, just do something else, you know, or like just go.
I'll say this. I've never tripped at a Phish concert, and there have not been at least 5 or 10 minutes where I've been like, this isn't good. Every single time, even though it's my favorite thing, and I know it's like, there's going to be a 5-minute period during any Phish concert where I go, fuck, this could go south right now.
Yeah.
And it only has once, but... It always happens. The thought's always there, and when you can't like ride it out, it's terrifying.
Yeah, it's hard. Like when it's really hard to shake it, and then you just like there's almost like a surrendering to the bad trip. Just like there's like when you're like not doing well, and then you finally like it's finally okay, and you like know it's gonna be okay, and you're like tripping. You're like, oh, this is great. You know, like there is the opposite end of that too, where you're like. This isn't going well, and then you're like, "This is not going well." You've like this is not going. Yeah, dude.
Well, I'll just never remember. I'll never forget like walking out because we had shit seats at this show. It was at MSG, and so you haven't seen them at MSG, right? Fuck, we gotta get you there, dude. So there's like the 220s are the real shit sections. Like it's really bad because. The catwalk, like the sky bridge, cuts off your view. You can't see shit. So you're just kind of in this like dark box. You really don't have a great view. And all you're hearing is cat screeches. And you're in the middle of the row and getting out, dude. Get when you're having a bad trip at a jam band concert and you're trying to leave the row you're in, everybody really looks like a monster, dude. It's just the sweatiest, ugliest people on earth with gross hair just being like, "You okay, dude?" And they all look like fucking
Yeah, they got a
monsters.
towel
It's
on
terrifying.
their head, or they're some
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
mask, or they've got like a bunch of fucking crazy stuff on, and they're just like shuffling back and forth.
Yeah,
Or at least I
yeah.
kind of hope they're shuffling. It's my nightmare when people are kind of standing still at the show and you're trying to leave, and everyone's just like a
Oh,
peg
yeah.
you gotta like get past. Like
That
I kind of
sucks.
like it
Yeah,
when people are
there's
like at least dancing. You can kind of like time it out and move.
a groove behind them. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. It's well, MSG, I know how I like to do MSG now. Like I've been there enough where I know how to where to hang and all the shit because they're like I think MSG has a couple secrets where once you know them, you've got space for days with the best views. But when you're stuck in that venue and if you're in one of the bad sections, it's one of the worst places to see a concert on earth because it really is cramped and it really is scaly.
Yeah.
And everybody there is terrifying. But I don't know, dude. It's the only place I've seen Phish indoors, too.
Yeah.
So it's a different vibe, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Do you have like honorable mention? I mean, and these can be Phish shows. These can be not Phish shows. But do you have shows
Yeah.
that are just like right up there with the best show ever? But you'd be remiss if you didn't bring them up on the podcast. They're not quite the best show ever, but they're close.
Yes, I saw the Polyphonic Spree
Sick.
at Montreal Jazz Festival, and it was the greatest concert I've ever been to. Still, it was not my favorite that I've ever been to, but it was the greatest one I've ever
Yeah.
been to. Have you ever really given them any?
No, but I mean, like anyone who listens to music, like
Totally.
has thrown their name around. That's kind of maybe the first time they've been brought up on the
Sure.
show. But like, yeah,
It's because they're fucking weird, dude. It's like you see them and it's like, I remember seeing them when I was like 13 on a music video and being like, oh, this is like a cult,
Yeah.
right? They're 20 bands with like in flowy robes singing about like light and shit. And you know, when you're 13, you're like, well, this is corny and goofy. I say that now, and then I'm like in my 30s, like, well, Phish has a song called Light that
I like
actually
it.
is really sick with it. And like, yeah. But it's you see this and it's just it looks goofy and it looks cheesy and it looks culty and it's really hard to kind of like take it seriously. But I saw them at Jazz Festival so I went with my parents when I was like 16, 17. We went and saw Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, and then later that night we saw the Polyphonic Spree. And they had the next night off, so they played for 6 hours.
Jeez.
And it was one of the craziest concerts I've ever been to because it's like there's got to be at least 15 of them on stage at any given time, and they're crazy energetic and they're crazy good. And it was just I've just never seen anybody play with that much energy for that long. And for not knowing any of their music, I remember being like, this is the most fun I've ever had at a show.
Yeah, and there is something about seeing something that you don't know, and you're at a show, and you're like, I gotta know this. I like when we're done
Yeah.
here, we're getting into this.
This has to,
Yeah.
yes. Dude, and they had just like gone through this major costume change. I guess, all right, so their deal is when they first started, they literally dressed in these big white
Yeah.
robes, and there were 15 of them at a time. And then they made some shift where they started wearing like these army uniforms. And they came out and did so they opened the show with their army uniforms, came out and did another 3 hour set in their robes. And they were in the crowd at this point. Like, I have a very distinct, like, memory of a trumpet player next to my face playing trumpet, not microphone. So he's just out there playing, and it was the coolest fucking thing, dude. Like, it's the kind of thing where it's, oh, yeah, the band is part of the crowd now, and the crowd is part of the band, and this is the kind of shit that I
Yeah.
love now.
Yeah, it's just like so in the moment. You know, it's so like of
Yes.
that moment. You know, it's really hard to take that back and like describe it to someone. You know, like or like
can't,
quantify it.
yeah. No, and especially because this was at the time. I remember this being like a very like pivotal moment because I was really into like the Warped Tour scene and the like hardcore scene and shit. And I remember like going to Jazz Fest with my parents in Montreal, being like, "Yeah, this will be cool, but I'm not gonna love anything." And everything I saw, just like I just like I'd be like when I was 13, 16 years old, when it was 16, it's just like, oh, now I'm into jazz. I love jazz music now, and I get it now. And I like it's not just a bunch of people like farting around. Like I understand what's happening. And I just remember that whole trip, like every band I saw just broke my
Yeah,
brain
that stuff can
entirely.
feel pretentious. You know, it can feel like
It is
it
pretentious,
super
but
is.
it's
It super
okay.
is. Yeah, but like you liked all of the stuff that you liked when you were in high school because it was like expressing what you wanted to express. But then like you go watch like a musician, you know, do all this expression through jazz or like this huge group
Yeah.
kind of like transform a space like through like then you're like, oh shit, music is more than just this, you know. Or I can feel
Yeah.
things from the pretentious stuff too.
Well, dude, have you seen that LCD Sound System
Yeah, dude.
documentary
Yeah.
concert? Dude, there's that one line where he's like, "I like being pretentious." I'm like, "Fucking yeah,
Yeah.
man! It
Yeah.
rules! It
It
rules!
rules to have good taste and put
Yeah,
a
man!
premium on it, you know?
Yes, yes,
And you
totally. I totally agree
and
with that.
if you felt roasted earlier when we were talking about like Disney adults or like certain types of culture being like less than, you should feel roasted because it is.
You have no
Because
taste.
you
Yeah,
have bad taste. That's
that's
all
it.
we were saying. That's it.
Exactly. 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 And
It's
it's
okay.
okay. There's a place for you, and it's in Orlando and Anaheim,
Yeah.
baby, and you can hang out there forever with your
No
kind.
problem. Go there. Also, life is
Sure.
long. You know, you
Yes.
could like learn anything.
You could
You,
adjust. You could
you could.
adjust. You could
You really
pivot.
could. So I
Oh,
think that's a
totally.
cool distinction too. Like that was the greatest concert you ever saw. It is not your favorite, but like,
Yeah. Dude, I'll be honest, that Mondegreen one we went to was like the most
dude,
fun I've ever had at a concert. That show was from the jump, because I assume most of the people that listen to this are fish people,
yeah, they
right?
get brought up every fucking episode. So yeah,
Yeah, okay. So I like when they open that show with bouncing around the room, and it's like the daytime, and you watch a bunch of people try and find that rhythm as the first rhythm of the day. And I just remember watching and like laughing in my head because it's like nobody at this concert knows how to
oh
dance or
man,
has any rhythm of their own. And watching them try and find this weird time signature when they haven't played anything yet was just so, the amount of shoulders that were going in different
yeah, dude,
directions was so funny to me. But I just remember that like so clearly. And everything about that show fucking ripped down to like the secret set at the end, which was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
yeah,
It was just so cool. The vibe was perfect. I remember like I spent like 20 minutes trying to take my shoes off at one point, and I remember like laughing the whole time. I couldn't
Well, there's
I
also
couldn't get the shoes
like
on.
there is something about, and I've brought this up before, but there's something about seeing a show with like Kyle. Like my little brother is a very
Oh,
he
dude,
is a
yeah.
very very funny guy, and he is very funny, specifically at a Fish show, and like yeah, like he
Yeah.
there I just remember like we were doing that.
He
We
was
were doing
killing
that
me,
gears
dude.
bit for a long time of like,
The
of, like talking
kid.
about the gears and like all this stuff. I'm like trying to remember some of the other things that happened, but
The gearheads. This is for the gearheads, dude. I remember. I remember we got shushed.
oh,
I
that was
mean,
by my friend
dude.
Jenny. Jenny's like, shut the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah, yeah,
up.
yeah. Yeah, dude. He and I mean, we were going off, man. I felt bad, but I was still like, yeah, but we're having fun. This is great. I remember like thinking to myself, like, God, if I was anybody else within 5 feet of me, I would slit my
Yeah,
throat. But I'm having a
and
blast, dude.
he
That was
and
so
Kyle
funny.
is a shusher. You know, Kyle will shush people, but I think
Yeah.
that there was something about like that was all of the original like us going to shows together with me and my friend Willie is like just doing jokes kind of during the shit. Like we're like not
Yeah.
chomping, but like at some point maybe a little bit, because we're just goofing off, you know, and like and it's a funny experience. The show is funny.
Yes.
Like the people around you are funny, like you said. Like it feels weird to not like you gotta
a little bit. Like it's not like I'm having a conversation or whatever. It's like dude, I went and saw Yo La Tango a few months ago, which is like one of my favorite bands, but they're really a lot of it's quiet. Yeah. And I've never heard more people talk at a concert than I did at Yo La Tango. And it drove me fucking crazy. Yeah. But
chatting.
If somebody made a yes, just like, yeah, man, I think I'm gonna go out with this girl tomorrow, and I don't really. It's like, no. Like, make a joke about the song. Yeah. Make me like do something. Like, I think it's different because it's not like there's chomping and then there's joking around where it's like, hey, again, it's this thing that we all take seriously, even though it's silly as fuck. And it's like we all love this so much that this is when we get to connect with other people about it. I think it's totally cool to be like, you know, is that a knife, my friend, or whatever? Yeah. Like, you know, whatever. Something stupid. It's just like, that's fun. It's not, I don't think of that as chomping. And
it doesn't detract from the show.
It can get out of control.
It can.
It adds to the show. It can, but it's like, it's almost like, hey, we're deepening that bond over the thing we're connecting over right now because we have this shared understanding of what it is.
And I love nothing more than like when like Kyle will say some shit to me or I'll say some shit to Kyle or something like that, like a bit during the show, and then some guy from the group in front of us will then like turn around and be like, yeah, here's what we're talking about, or like whatever it is, like, you know, like that is the best shit, you know. And I feel like that the community itself, like the Phish people they are funny and they like funny.
Yes,
they like a very funny band, and so it is funny. It's extra funny to me when people are like not wanting you to joke about it or not wanting you to joke about the experience.
Well, dude,
like, oh man, come on.
You'll see somebody wearing like a fucking space blanket as a cape with like sunglasses out to here. They've got pants with one leg cut to their thigh, the other one's like fully long, and they'll be like, nipples. "Hey man, you're really but they're like, you're really disturbing the show right now, man. I need you to stop talking, all right?"
Yeah. No, and I usually just try to take it as like everyone else around me is on psychedelics, and so they're usually like just a little more high-tuned. Like I was just talking about this on something else.
Totally.
Like mushrooms are the anti earplug for me. Like I can just fucking hear everything. When if I'm like really high, like I can hear everybody, you know. So
yes.
I get it.
Dude, when I'm tripping, I definitely get it. It's funny because like unless I am at a concert, like if I'm on mushrooms, I'm like a moth, right? Like I am just like, oh, that's going there, that's going there. Like I can't stay. I just see a light and I'm like, I gotta run. But if it's something at a Phish concert, I think that's why I like Phish so much. Is like, oh, this shit drastically changes how I do drugs, which is my favorite thing. And it's like, I'm not bouncing around. I'm not sprinting towards another thing at Phish. I'm like, oh, I'm locked into the point where I can joke about the intricacies of what they're doing with other people that love it the same way.
Yeah, and there's parts of the show where you can feel people talking a lot or whatever, and then like what I love about like, and Phish does this better than any other jam band. They do it better than any other jam of like they will shut the crowd up. Like I've like Phish will like get into some jam where it's like a little bit open, and so people are a little bit more like, yeah, I'm chatting, and this is a little weird, and then they'll just fucking condense it all down to like, and now everyone's focused again.
Yeah,
like it's sick as fuck.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain to somebody. Like, Phish is the only concert I go to where it's like I don't see phones. I do not see people like on their cell phones. It's
outlier.
Every other concert I go to, people are taking pictures. Yes, and I think that a big part of that has to do with the fact that they do record them all for you in HD, where it's like, you're going to be able to see it. Don't worry. Be here with us. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know of any other band that people lock into like that, where they don't want to go do anything else. It's
I
the
don't know
best.
that there's never been a show that I have been to where the start of the show is so like in unison. Everybody is like the lights go down, everybody is focused on the show. Like I mean, there's
Yes.
maybe like one other instance in my life where I can think of like the first time I like when Blink 182 got back together in 2010.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went and
yeah,
saw
yeah,
that
yeah.
tour, and like when the lights went down for Blink when they went on stage, like the whole place went fucking crazy
I can
to the point where you like
imagine.
couldn't hear the first song, and it was like nuts, and it felt like a Blink, like an old like
Yeah.
world tour Blink show or whatever. But like other than that, like I think that if you were to go like, and that was like super special circumstances. They were back for the first time. They were
Right.
super
Right.
beloved, and people wanted that and whatever. But like for a lot of bands and a lot of like shows now are just a cool thing to go do, like a bar. Like it's like
Right.
you
Right.
know,
I think though that Fish. I know this is definitely not going to be new ground on your podcast, but it's like, yeah, we're seeing something that we're never going to see again. So that's why everybody is like focused
yeah,
on it. I'll like, dude, I'll never forget. I watched this guy. He was sitting alone. We were next to each other at MSG, and he was just like talking to himself, like, "Fucking come on, man, fuck, I gotta get this. Oh my god!" And then as soon as the lights went down, his just like demeanor just
yeah,
changed,
dude.
and he was so chill and so relaxed. And I think that that's what makes that band so special. Is like there is nothing like being at a
Yeah,
Fish show.
there really is not, dude. And there are people like there are so many like live music people who are like, I just did not like Fish for a long, long time, and then I go to Fish now because that's the type of music experience that I want to have. Like that's the crowd I want to be in. Is the crowd that's like
Dude,
there to listen
yes,
to the show. And it's not universal.
yes,
And like there will be a Fish like they're gonna go tour right now in the spring and the summer, and people are gonna go to shows, and people will absolutely fucking chomp because like Fish is still a thing that like people just will go to just because it's like yeah whatever like my buddy
yes.
likes them and I'll go.
This is we got to get you to MSG, dude. It ain't like that. It ain't like that, dude. We do it a little differently because it's not that. I don't know. I'm going to see him in Columbus, and I think it's going to be a
It could be.
disaster.
It totally could be.
I really think it will be.
Try
Yeah,
to get as
but
close as you can,
whatever.
but don't get too close. You know what I mean? Like you gotta like. That's
Yeah,
for me. Like I am. By the way, have we gotten to your best show? Your best show?
we're talking. Oh, so this is it. So this is
Yeah.
so. All right. So that was what made this one
Yeah.
so good that we went to. So right. All right. So that was night 2 of Mondegreen,
Yeah.
right? So the first one, I was up on the rail with my buddy Justin. So we were on the rail, and it fucking sucked,
Dude.
after a while. Like the first set was awesome, and honestly, when they opened the second set with "What's Going Through Your Mind," that was the first time I had heard that, and I was like, "This is my new
Yeah.
favorite song. This is incredible. This is
Oh, yeah.
great, perfect.
Oh,
Whatever's
yeah.
happening right now, worth it." Yeah, 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 yeah. But then this fucking girl came up, and she like pushed her way to the front of the rail and just started like spinning and dancing and shit. And she was like by herself, and it's like we had a good thing going on up here. We're all hanging. It's
Yeah.
I didn't want to be like, you notice how we're all over 30 over
Yeah.
here, and we're having a really pleasant time. You're really ruining it, and it was such a bummer. And then like there were a couple cool songs that night. Like it was fun to see a possum like on the
Yep.
rail and all that. But then the next night when they opened with Bouncing Around the Room, when they got into Fluffhead, they got the Hood. Like that set list was just perfect.
Yeah, man.
That Friday was a perfect set list, and it was beautiful. And then when they did that secret set, I just remember being like, a couple things happened. One, I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. There was that one girl that went down. And do
Yeah.
you remember this? The girl that went down, and we weren't like in the back, we weren't in the front. It was like we were in the dead center
Like
of that
near the
field.
soundboard.
And I was, yes, and this is, it was, what I thought was so wild about this was this girl goes down, and within seconds, everybody is like, fuck the show, whatever's going on, we've got to take care of this person. And you don't see that in so many other shows. you don't see people taking care of each other like that. And within seconds, people got like had flashlights out and security was in there, got this woman out of there. And like it was so fast. And it just because people cared to stop what they were doing. And I just thought that was like one of the coolest things to be like, oh fuck, these people are here to have the best time they can, but they got to make sure everybody is all right. And if they're not, they got to make sure that that's taken care of first, because the people come first before anything else. And I just thought that was like really special, especially that it's happening during a secret set that was like, this is so beyond what is ever going to happen again, but we're still going to like stop what we're doing to make sure that this girl's okay. Dude. I thought that was like just really special and really rad. And then also to be like, all right, she's good. Oh, cool. Well, they're creating space and time right now. Great. Cool. That's cool too, man. Like,
yeah.
It was just awesome. It was so cool. And the people were great. Like, everybody that was around in that group was great. And it was just a fun hang. And, like, it felt like everybody got to hear the songs they wanted, which was, I thought was pretty unique. That doesn't usually happen where everybody gets at least one that they were really hoping for. You know, usually it's just one guy that's like, I got 3, baby.
Yeah, we were pretty on fire. We were pretty on fire as a group. But it was also just like one of those shows.
Dude, because,
you're just like, damn. Every other song, you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Because I remember I wanted that Fluffhead so bad, and they, like, killed it. That was, like, one of the best ones I've ever heard. And then afterwards, so when we went back to our campsite, we met the guys that were next to us, these dudes from Colorado. This guy Taylor is a fucking trip. So we were, because they played Sense and Subtle Sounds that night, and apparently at some point, he just started going around going like, this would have driven me nuts if I heard it during the show, but afterwards it was so funny. He was just going like all night, and he used to be like, Sense and Subtle Sounds, brother. And if I had heard that during the show, I would have like killed myself. But we're sitting in these tents, and he's doing that as we're like snorting ketamine, and he's like, yeah, man, I went to rehab the first time in 2004. And I was like, this
Sense and Subtle Sounds, brother.
Dude, and he's like this wild dude that's real excited, and his buddy is one of these real like, yeah, man, no, I'm from Central Pennsylvania. I'm a very quiet man, and I speak in complete and full thoughts. My consonants are heavy and hard, and his buddy is just going all night. And it was just so much fun, dude. That set, like, we went back and listened to it in the tent, like, right after it ended, and it was still awesome. Like, every part of that night was fun. I remember going to see Rory afterwards, and like, just being so thrilled that I was like, oh, cool. They got somebody that likes Phish. There, it could have gone so much worse, and I don't know. That night was just really special.
It really was, man.
All right, so that was my conversation with Max. Just hilarious dude. I mean, the night that we hung out at Mondegreen together, this dude is just the exact kind of guy I want to be with at a show. Just doing bits, watching the show, enjoying it. Couldn't have been more funny. And we had a blast performing together at Mondegreen too. And so, like I said in the intro, if you are in New York and you want to see some good comedy, follow at Max Fine. And this dude he's cooking. His stuff is really good. And again, guys, if you've been enjoying the podcast, I appreciate it. If you'd like to like and subscribe and rate and all that stuff that helps all the algorithm of it all, that would be great. If you're looking for podcast episodes that are not out yet of The Best Show Ever, there's a bunch of those. Just the conversation, unedited, raw, on the Patreon right now. You can become a member of that and get access to those. But until next time, guys, have a great show.